Flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Bellacuella. Present. Mr. Chavez. Present. Victor Vasquez. Mr. Guevara.
Present.
Ms. Molano. Mr. Sepulveda.
Present.
And Ms. Eguayal.
Present.
Thank you. Good to have you all back. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday season, Christmas and New Year's. If it was like mine, it was really good, so. But let's go ahead.
We can't duplicate that.
No, this is something else. But let's go ahead and have the approval of the minutes for our last meeting, which was November 14th, 2018, please.
Make a motion to approve minutes.
I have a motion brought by Mr. Rivera,
I second.
second by Mr. Sepulveda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Communications, announcements. Do we have anything? Or should we go to items for discussion?
Can I just
Yeah, go
say
ahead.
if I could be excused at 6:30?
Absolutely, no problem. Yes.
I'd also just like to announce that as in a previous discussion with regard to having a liaison from the youth committee with input, we've got our youth committee president here, Kristen Ruiz, and he is here to look and listen and learn. We also have our supervisor for Hillside Recreation Center. She oversees the youth committee. And if you don't mind, if you would give me just a minute, I'd like her to briefly talk about just some of the things that the youth committee does.
You want to go ahead and
Perfect,
talk
yeah.
about it, since you're part of it?
Sure. Here, right? This one, right here. So my name's Christian Luis. I'm the president of the City of Laredo Youth Council. So that on your pamphlet, it gives you the explanation of what it is. But what we are is we are a group of high school students in the community, any school, and we come together, and we are a group of leaders that are making a difference in our community and overall in the world. We this year we had a bigger number of members in this group, so that it won't just be an event, but it'll be a movement. We do everything to accepting donations, donating to the orphanage, South Texas Food Bank, or we have events as in we have our Easter events, our fall events for Halloween. We go to bingo nights for the elderly. So what this group is just youth coming together and overall making a difference. And it is very inspiring to see, people my age come together to impact the world. So that's just an overview of what the Youth Council is.
Good. And what schools? Every school in Laredo?
We have right now we have Alexander United, LBJ, Early College, Nixon.
Just basically all the schools.
It's all the schools here in Laredo. So yes, this year we gave it out to UISD, and at ISD we spoke to the superintendents. So we gave it out to the schools. There's posters up in the schools and stuff like that. So we can get it out more to the information out.
It's excellent. That's, I mean, that's,
Congratulations.
yeah, very good. Appreciate it. Thank you for your help. Okay. Any other communications?
So would you please?
Yes.
No? Okay. Items for discussion with possible action. We have, who today?
We have Los Presidentes is subdivision master plan, parkland dedication.
Okay.
It's on district number 2,
Mhm.
south to 359 and west to Cuatro Vientos Boulevard. We have here the engineer that is going to explain the proposal
Okay.
that they're making to the city.
Good evening, Ricardo Villarreal. I'm gonna get a little closer to this so I can, I know in the Parks and Recs department, we had some clips. So, we don't have any here, because I have a bigger version, but if y'all, in case y'all wanna stand up and look at it, or I can pinpoint certain things that you might not be able to see on the TV. I don't know if you have a 8.5 by 11s with you, but, Los Presidentes East is a portion of a huge master plan that started back in the late 1900s, I'm gonna go ahead and say because it was so long ago, 80s, 90s. So it was part of the whole Los Presidentes Road that hits 359, wraps all the way around, taps into Cuatro Vientos, and now it's expanding east of Cuatro Vientos. So this is just a segment of that we had to exclude from the bigger version because everything in the west is pretty much almost complete. There's still a couple of tracks there. It came in before to the Parks Board. Maybe you might not be familiar because it did come in a while back. We did make some changes to the master plan. As everything started maybe about a little bit 3 years ago, this master plan came in. We went ahead and added some residential tracks. So out of this master plan, this little east part here has already been developed. So there's some more residential just west of that, and everything south of the proposed Los Presidentes hasn't been developed. We added 20 acres to the master plan, and also we changed some designation of multifamily to residential, which in essence kicked us back into the planning and zoning to get approved again, which kicks us back here because we're adding residential.
That would be the phase 4? on this
Phase
one?
14, this one here, and then, I can't remember, I can't see very well, but 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, there's 21.
Yeah, you would do it. There would be 14 then.
Yeah, 14 here.
No, that's the second.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
What's the park that's closest to this?
No, that's fine.
Independence?
I couldn't see it.
How far is it? How far is this from Independence?
It's relatively close, I would say maybe about half a mile.
Oh.
I would say half a mile, 3/4 of a mile.
Yes, it's
Roughly.
within a
Yeah.
Okay.
So, when we originally came and got it approved, Independence was kind of, well, it was there, but Independence is, correct me if I'm wrong from the parks, but they really want to put the infrastructure in Independence because it was acting more as a regional
Correct.
park as opposed to a localized park that you would see. So when we came in with the original master plan, it was a little over 2 acres, or actually, I'm sorry, about 3 acres that would have been dedicated, but they opted to go in lieu of that dedication, provide the 45,000 per acre. And my understanding was a lot of that money was used at Independence, which you see some of those improvements going in there. Same thing that we're proposing here for the future plans. I will say this, City of Laredo included Los Presidentes, funding for Los Presidentes in their capital improvement plan. So this is moving a lot quicker than anticipated. So Los Presidentes is gonna connect to Concord Hills, hopefully in the next year and a half, 2 years. So we'll see that connection, and finally this much needed area is gonna have the second out that everybody's wanting, especially for first responders and all that. So that's just key, because it also provides, it's gonna provide for a better access to independent parks, as opposed to going through the subdivisions right now and exiting on 2 of these streets and then going up north. Like I said, it's not that far of a distance. I mean, it's walkable, depending on who you talk to, the time of the year that you talk to that person. Nonetheless, it's there. Los Presidentes also, I believe, we're not part of the design team. We're all part of the review team, because it's our client that's donating the land, but it's going to fall within the new comprehensive typical sections. So you're going to see bike trails on both sides, the sidewalks, but the big time steroid version of bike trails, you know, the 6-foot bike trails, the 8 to 10 foot sidewalks. So this street is going to be pretty walkable, and as it extends, you know, now with the new ordinances going through and the adoption of the comprehensive plan, that should be extended all the way through. So in itself, like we like to see it, is these new roads are almost like linear parks per se.
So so people will be easily able to bike or walk from this neighborhood to
Correct.
Independence.
They'll still be able to walk, because by code, even before this comprehensive plan, you'd have to build the sidewalks. So you have to build sidewalks within right of way to the park. So you see sidewalks all over the place, especially in residential development. I think the
Right.
only place you don't see sidewalks is in industrial. So you could walk there. Now it's just more outdoor friendly, biker friendly. So that's the case here. Like I said, moving beyond that, because I did want to mention that, because that Los Presidentes Road is going to be a major road. We do want to continue with the money in lieu of to implement, hopefully, and that I defer to Parks, because that goes into the Parks coffer there, and then they would distribute to wherever it's needed. But when we first came in, a lot of it was used at Independence Park. So again, I think we made a calculation. Our next phase would be phase 14. It hasn't been turned in yet. There's some legal documents that have to be signed. But phase 14 would come in at about just before I get that number correct, about 118 lots. So you're looking at your 314 per lot, and then as well as I think the remainder of the unplatted master plan, we were, based off of what you see here, we were at about around 3 acres of required parkland. So the money in lieu of would be $135,000. That would be once everything is completed. Of course, things can change, markets can change, but as of right now, it looks like residential is making the push. So that's what we're proposing. If you all have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer.
I would like to clarify something. I was looking at the map,
Oh, yes,
And-
yes.
and Los Presidentes, the Independence Hills is on this side. So Los Presidentes, the old subdivision is on this side. That's why it was closer to that part. But over here, we have Las Misiones, and we're gonna be receiving Lago del Valle too. So probably that money is gonna go to those parts, which are closer, on a walkable distance as well, and they are in the same district, consultation.
Well, what street is that?
That's Cuatro Vientos.
This is Cuatro Vientos, and then Concord Hills runs about
Right.
right there.
So their
I'm
parts are.
thinking
closer
because of
to-
safety
Yeah,
purposes.
and then, well, the other thing to cross, we've seen some plans, I don't know how far, because we do a lot of conceptual plans before it gets presented to parks, but that long bridge on Cuatro Vientos, it has plenty of space to cross under, either with bike trails or regular trails, walking trails, so the connectability to bridge the gap, per se,
It's there.
on both sides is there, which, if you look at comparable, more to a bigger scale, but San Isidro North Central Park, you know, you have box culverts, which you really can't do that. Here you have a bridge system and it's relatively long, so you have a lot of space to go under there. So that is an option because that was left there. You will see on the master plan that we do have a detention basin / park. We kept it there from the original version. The reason we kept it there is because in this area of Laredo, probably have this 359 South, maybe up to Lomas del Sur, and you probably get to EG Ranch. This whole area is under a Webb County drainage district. That drainage district, so in essence, if you don't know about it, you get taxed. Part of your taxes go to this drainage district, and it helps pay for any drainage improvements, drainage maintenance in this area. So these people are paying a tax. So the idea is to build a regional detention pond as opposed to pocket detention ponds. It helps, especially in a heavy residential area like this, it alleviates the city of Laredo from having to maintain them. It's all, I mean, same concept as a park. It's a lot easier to maintain 1-2 parks than maintain 10, 12, parks. So same thing, one detention pond. So this drainage district was created for that sole purpose. Right now with the road, they're actually starting the CLOMAR, which is a letter of map revision to redo the floodplain and start channelizing everything and going the route of regional detention. So we kept it in there because I don't want to take it out yet per se, even though the drainage district's already created. It has already a lot of money. It's been generating money for 4 or 5 years, so it has a good amount of money. But the regional detention is not there yet. And if for some reason we come back and we have to do the detention pond ourselves, it's not in a major floodplain area, so we have areas outside that detention pond that we can use for a trail around it, so, but we would come back to the commission to, as we do 14, we would pay money in lieu of, but let's just say we come and we build this detention pond. Beyond that, we would obviously bring the master plan back and reevaluate that with you all. But it's an option up there. But for right now, immediately, and I had mentioned that, we do want to pay money in lieu of because I think it's a better chance of this moving because of the drainage district that the other parts of the city of Laredo don't have. And that's what it was meant to be, so.
I'd like to make a motion to accept cash in lieu.
I second the motion.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
We have the second subdivision, which is Fairview subdivision. It's in City Council District 6. It's next to west to the I-35 and south to San Isidro Parkway. And it's a big subdivision. Also, Mr. Rick Villarreal is going to explain the proposal.
And what's the little green park next to it?
Divine Mercy.
Divine Mercy.
Yes, right here.
And then what's the one over?
This one's North Central.
Okay.
There's one that's kind of missing, but I'll point it out in a bit. But it's about in total, everything is 122 acres. It was the old mall site that was going to go on San Isidro back in 2008, 2009. Obviously, that was the wrong time to come in. Laredo had a great opportunity to have a great mall, just extremely bad timing. They've been trying, it was a company out of California. I believe it was the teachers' school system out of California that owned the land. And they've been trying to let it go. Finally, 2 developers came into play, 2 local developers. One was San Isidro. The other one was another local developer that came in as a partnership and purchased the tract of land back and recreated a master plan for this area. So the 77 acres out of the 122 will be reverted into, or be changed into residential, and the other remaining 23, around 50 acres would be commercial, multifamily. So Springfield abuts this track on the east side, San Isidro Parkway. This is the exit off the highway, San Isidro Parkway that goes around. So TxDOT is also redoing this underpass for the railroad Now people are gonna go over the railroad, not under the railroad, and kind of align it more straight so you don't have those horizontal curves. The other thing is, there's a portion that the city of Laredo owns most of it, is you got Shiloh up to this point. So I can't really see it here, but maybe at San Dario Ranchway, it's probably somewhere like here. Oh, here it is, right here. That little piece of Shiloh, Springfield is missing, so the city has plans to extend it and connect it. What does that do? That also extends and it hits the, I don't know what it's called, officially called, but the Shiloh bike trails.
The Shiloh trails.
Yeah, that park system. So these detention ponds just east of this area are the same concept that you see at North Central Park. North Central Park are two big channels detention ponds, but they built them wider so that you can put tracks and everything on there. Plus you have Divine Mercy. It's a 5-acre park, and right now that 5-acre park has like a jungle gym, if anything, if you want to call it that. So it's been like that for a while, and 5 acres is actually a very good piece of land. You want to compare 5 acres, Hal's Landing, the whole lot with the building, parking, that's 5 acres. So just to give you an idea, the relatively small development for Fairview here, I believe we're creating 467 lots. It would only equate to a little bit less, less than 2 acres of parkland dedication. So the developers, obviously the team, see it as, to have another 1.7 something acre park across the street from a 5-acre park probably is not very efficient, not very well used. So we want to apply the same idea as we did in Los Presidentes, paid money in lieu of, and hopefully that money maybe can be used to upgrade that park or whatever the Parks Department needs. It goes beyond our control, but that's something that we want to make a point to. Again, also this Castle Rock Road, again, is going to fall under the comprehensive plan. So you'll see 6-foot bike trail, 12-foot sidewalks on both sides. And so we hope this becomes a bike, this is going to be a bike-friendly road. And then Springfield, when it comes down, you should be able to hit the bike trails right here. So you kind of already have like a linear park type of system. So this money, this relatively, this 45,000 per acre, which is going to be 80-something thousand, probably is better to be used at Divine Mercy, which not only Fairview subdivision would use, but the actual Tiara that's existing there. So kind of liven this area a little up.
Now, it looks like Divine Mercy is part of the subdivision, but you said that if you guys set aside land, it wouldn't be next to Divine Mercy.
Correct. The east of Springfield has already been developed.
Okay.
And that was developed
15
years ago, 20 years ago. So this was all commercial. Like I said, the detention ponds were going to act as the big buffer between residential and commercial. That, unfortunately, that didn't end up happening. I've spoken not only to the clients, to representatives, everything. The Amazon effect is really killing 100-acre malls.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see a mall coming, it's very rare that you're going to develop a 100-acre mall. You're more than likely going to develop, kind of retail centers that might have 2-3 big boxes and maybe a couple of small ones. But so, and you can see it, 10 years, it's standing there and not doing anything, and it's developed. It has everything. It has roads, it has water, it has sewer. That's a gold mine to developers where they can start right away, and it's still that, outlet shops. I mean, we've looked at everything. The outlet shops, while they're successful, the ones that are open, you still see a lot of them vacant, so the whole strategy changed, and we're still keeping a lot of commercial. So these are the enticements that now with commercial. You're going to see maybe your Targets or your Walmarts, and then you build around that. And so that was the idea for the west side. They they were originally part of this development. That's why that 5 acres was there, because of the dedication that already happened 15 years ago. Except we have that this is the living proof. You know, you dedicate a park and then it could stay there for 15 years and you just have a piece of land. So you, in my opinion, you kind of hope that something like this comes around that kind of helps it out and pumps money into that. So it's kind of like a blessing in disguise per se for the park.
It's a good hunting ground, right, apparently?
Oh, yeah. Very, I don't know what it scored, but it scored pretty high.
164 there.
Wow. They actually, I think they killed it right when they closed on the property. They just closed on it less than a month ago.
Yeah, I heard.
So,
I'm out. Wow. Any other questions, discussion, anything? Can I have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept it.
Second. All those in
Except
favor
the cash
signify.
payment.
Correct.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
accept, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's
Not accept.
Okay,
I was clarifying it.
Those opposed, same sign, motion carried. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great night.
Let's move on to the staff report, please.
Thank you.
Staff report is a presentation on events that we've had in December. The department has been very busy. We've had, as we've mentioned in the past, we have multiple Christmas events, something that we're definitely working towards. Trimming down, if you will, and having larger events in each district. So staff is working on putting something together. In the meantime, what we've done is we've got a compilation of all the events that the staff worked on during the Christmas holidays. This does not include, by the way, ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings, press conferences. These are events, full events.
And others.
Anyway, our public information officer is going to update.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody, by the way.
Happy New Year, sir.
Like Ms. Stanley was saying, we had a very busy December. We started it off with tree plantings at two of our local parks, Diano Park and Newman Park over there by Ellison Recreation Center. We had excuse me, 75 totals for volunteers that same day. They were both done on the same day, on a Saturday morning. So going from one park to another was not the easiest. But we had sponsor booths, we had library, A&M, Texas A&M, the health department, fire department. The expenses came out to basically for food, $350 and for the volunteers. And trees, of course, and were $2,600 at Diano, $4,800 at Newman, and so on for the payroll for staff, which came out to a total of $8,700. We had continued on December. We had the Bartlett Park Christmas lights. This is how it looked during the day. This was it, same thing at night. We had quite a few of you see it right there. That's the same thing here. And we had quite a festive group. We had schools come out, did some choir singing and Christmas carols. We had Gather Communications come out with their sled for the kids. And at night we had a beautiful light show. Everybody was were ecstatic about that light show. Unfortunately, sometimes the light shows didn't go on because during that time we had those strong winds, and it damaged a lot of our tree lights. But we kept as best we could. We, like I mentioned, we had schools, we had vendors, library was involved. We had about 200 to 300 total, but as the night crawl continued, it was on, by the time darkness, people just started coming in, and people that were driving on Bartlett or on Jackman were just stopping, and they would just drive right into it just to look at the lights. And so that 300, I'm sure, was a lot more. And the show continued on to December 27th. We had and our expenses were about $12,400.
Hold on, Eddie. This is the first time we've done an event like this, and what this entailed is it had the kickoff on a certain day, and those are the stats for that day. The light show continued from the 9th through the 27th. What this was is the light show stayed on. You dialed it on your radio to listen to Christmas music, and the lights would dance in conjunction with, and so that was the excitement. So those numbers are hard to pinpoint, but we had a lot of good comments from this, and it was a lot of work from the first department.
Looks very nice.
But
and the best part
was very
about it, like
successful.
Stanley said, when the weather was cold, rainy, you can stay in your car and turn the radio on and listen to the music as the lights are dancing. So it was real nice.
Yeah.
This is the Light the Way for Christmas at North Central Park. This is, I believe, a 35-foot tall tree. And that was not an easy task for our staff to be out there and also trying to decorate it around. And of course, we all have our dedication to our fallen men and women from the military, those who didn't come home for Christmas. This was done within the pool area. As you can see the crowd, this is inside the pool area. You can see all the crowd around this pool. It was pretty packed. And we had a lot of people come to that event. Basically to all the Christmas events, considering some of the weather at times was pretty cold, but people just loved being out there even just for a little while to see the lights, take pictures, meet Santa or the Grinch. We had the Grinch out there and ride the train for a little while. And we had a lot of thank yous from people just saying thank you for putting this for our kids. And that's always nice to hear when, especially after working long hours. We had school performances out there. We had the roll call for the lost veterans. We had, on that train, we also had a special presentation we have a handicapped cart now. So children with special needs in wheelchair can actually get in the car in the back and ride the train along with everybody. So that was a great addition to that train, and we had about 200, 300 people. And the expenses came out to $3,500. But like I mentioned, it was a lot of work and a lot of long days, but it was always great to see, especially the parents who were ecstatic about there was a child there with a wheelchair who never was able to ride the train, and that was his first time, and we were so happy about that. We had Christmas in the park at Independence Hills. Again, the choirs, the kids, the train, the children, the lights, the trees, and we had hot chocolate. By the time we finished serving the hot chocolate, by the time they walked back to their area, it was already cold, but it was thought they count, but they had a great time. We had school performances, Santa Claus, Christmas tree lightings. We had a movie in the park, believe it or not, in that day, and it was probably one of the coldest days. But people still, we had 20 people or so stuck around. And then we had Posada at Faskin Recreation Center. And this was also an event that was done at the same time as the Independence. This was indoor. They had a Posada walking around in the neighborhood. They had dances, they had seniors out there, they had Christmas play, I believe, posada outside. They had singing, caroling, guitar playing, decorations for the kids. And there was also some prizes, door prizes, nice mountain bikes there. So people were excited, especially when they won a nice mountain bike that's worth $400 or so. So there's live music, attendance again, 200 to 300 people, and about 1,300 in expenses from staff. And we had Christmas at Inner City Park. This was probably one of the nicest days. You could see people without jackets. We were actually outside. We had a train. And these weren't just, nothing spectacular. So there was a nice movie, nice atmosphere, and it was packed. People from the neighborhood, right in the middle of the neighborhood, and people were just coming all over just to be around, just to be outside, enjoying the day, riding the train, doing some arts and crafts, adopting pets. We helped a lot during our events. We had the pets being adopted in a good amount. So we're doing our best to help out with the pets population. We had the music, DJ adoptions, pet adoptions. I mean, movie in the park. 2,500 looked like we got stuck in 250 to 300 people. Again, we had an expense about $1,272. And this is Slaughter Park. They had a posada. They had the water park there, the fountain. We put it in colors. And some of the outside trees at the park, some of the little tunnels at the park. It was very colorful. We had the slide. Kids loved that one. And there was long lines for those, just for a 10-second, not even 3-second, 5-second slide. And we had a clown, Bolita's the clown there for the community, and had everybody going. And that was just basic the same things, ice slide, train ride, Santa Claus. It was sponsored by the local soccer team there. The attendance was a little bit larger. The soccer league brought in a bunch of kids from their league along with their parents. $13,000 was the expense. Basically, that included the ice slide, and there's a lot of ice that was included in buying for that slide. And that was it. And that's basically what we had in December. A lot of other little things that were done throughout through the month of December, some groundbreakings and some ribbon cutting. But basically, those are those events that we had during December. Any questions, anybody?
No, I commend you all. I mean, that's a lot of different Christmas events. Well, we can have just one big one. We talk about that all the time, but yeah, I mean, I really commend you all. You all do a tremendous job. I went to a couple of those, and my daughter had fun.
And as the main thing, just to make sure the kids at least had a good time for a little while.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do want to add, when we have the giveaways that Eddie was talking about, those are actually donations by the council member. The city does not pay for those. The council member will gather some presents and do the giveaways with Eddie.
He had some donations that were given to him during there were mountain bikes, and he said let's raffle them off to the people, and that's what we did.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, any other staff reports? Okay. Items for next meeting? Anybody?
I had a question. What's the update on the training for the tree trimmers? There was going to be a class given in the spring.
Yes.
I was talking about it.
Berman is being in contact with the company, and the training that originally is like for staff to go out of town to take the training. What we're trying to do is to bring the training to Laredo, and hopefully, not only the Parks Department, but the Public Works and some other, maybe the
Private sector?
the private sector, school districts, they can also attend the training, and that is, I think it's being, we're working on scheduling for next
Okay.
month, February.
Oh, February,
Mhm.
okay. Where can I find out more information when it is scheduled, how people sign up, the dates?
Let me go back and double check with Berman about the dates, because he was trying, also coordinating with Tammy Yu. And so now we're not sure if it's gonna be here with our Public Works facility or at one of the rooms at Tammy Yu.
Okay,
So let me, I think he was verifying on the dates for availability,
okay,
but I can get you the information.
okay. Because I know some people who want to attend that, and some people that I would like to attend that, so just need more information. Thank you. And it's in Spanish? He said it was gonna be in Spanish, but it is in Spanish?
I guess they can do bilingual, because some of our groundskeepers, they don't speak English, so they can do the translation, but I think the people giving the training, they will do it in English, I'm not sure.
Oh,
Let me double check on that.
okay. Because Berman had said it'd be in Spanish, so, but maybe they're having a translator. I don't know. Okay, thank you.
I'll find out.
Any other items for next week? I mean, next meeting? No? Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second by, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very, very much for your time. Appreciate it. There's some food here. So.
Alexander